So what's the secret? The answer comes down to a simple choice. We can all choose to do certain things every day of our lives. Some things we do will make us unhappy, and some things we choose to do will make us happier. You are about to discover ways to become positive, happy, and successful in everything you do. So there's no need to say anything to anybody about it. Keep quiet. No one likes a smart ass. That's it. First rule, keep it under your hat. There may well be times when you do want to talk to other people about what you're doing because, quite naturally, you want to share it with somebody. Well, you can't and you don't. Let people find out for themselves with no clues from you. So the first rule is, quite simply, don't preach, propagate, try to convert, shout from the rooftops, or even mention this. Second, you will get older but not necessarily wiser. There is an assumption that as we get older we will get wiser. Not true. The rule really is, be kind to yourself when you do muck things up. Be forgiving, and accept that it's all part of that growing older but no wiser routine. Looking back, we can always see the mistakes we made, but we fail to see the ones looming up. Wisdom isn't about not making mistakes, but about learning to escape afterward with our dignity and sanity intact. Wisdom isn't about not making mistakes but about learning to escape afterward with our dignity and sanity intact. Third rule, accept what is done is done. People make mistakes. Sometimes very serious ones. As often as not, the mistakes aren't deliberate or personal. Sometimes people just don't know what they are doing. This means that if, in the past, people have behaved badly towards you, it wasn't necessarily because they meant to be horrid, but because they were as naive, as foolish, as human as the rest of us. They made mistakes in the way they brought you up or finished a relationship with you or whatever, not because they wanted to do it that way, but because they didn't know any different. What is done is done, and you need to just get on with your life. Fourth, accept yourself. If you accept that what's done is done, you are left with yourself exactly as you are. You can't go back and change anything, so you've got to work with what you've got. I'm not suggesting anything new age here such as love yourself, that's far too ambitious. No, let's begin with simple accepting. Accepting is easy because it is exactly what it says, accepting. You don't have to improve or change or strive for perfection. Quite the opposite. Just accept. That means accepting all the warts and emotional lumps and bumps, the bad parts, the weaknesses, and the rest of it. This doesn't mean we are happy with everything about ourselves, or that we are going to be lazy and lead a bad life. We are going to accept the way we are, initially, and then build on that. What we are not going to do is beat ourselves up because we don't like some parts. Yes, we can change lots, but that will come later. You don't have to improve or change or strive for perfection. Quite the opposite. Just accept. The last. Know what counts and what doesn't. Being here counts. Being kind and considerate counts. Getting through each day without seriously offending anyone or hurting anyone counts. Having the latest technology doesn't. Sorry, I don't hate technology. In fact, I probably have pretty much all the latest gizmos. I just, A, don't overly rely too much on any of it, and B, see them all as useful tools rather than having any intrinsic meaning in themselves, in a status symbol or one-up kind of way. Doing something useful with your life counts. Going shopping because you're bored doesn't. Yes, by all means go shopping, but see what you do as counting or not counting, being real or not being real, having real value or not, being of some benefit or not. This does not mean chucking it all up and going off to some fly-infested swamp to work with the locals and catch malaria, although that in itself would count, but you don't have to go to quite those extremes to make your life meaningful. There are some things in this life that are important and a whole lot of things that aren't.